everybody. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's 5 Count, and I'm John Edwards alongside with Big George. We're the North-South Connection, and we are here. We have a very special guest joining us tonight. George, why don't you introduce him? He's a longtime friend of yours, so tell us who we got on tonight.
We have a lovely, you know what? I'm going to do this for home one time because you know what? We from a little dot on this map that don't get enough shine. I always say it.
Come on now.
Another man from Port Arthur, Texas.
We have
Organic OT right in here. You know, celebrating, success with football and sports. It's, football season's right around the corner. Preseason about to be wrapped up. Everybody's being, in their feelings about their team and everybody think, but the most controversial team to talk about.
Come on now.
Is probably the most,
Come on now.
I mean, I live in the city. You rep it, the Dallas Cowboys. So today is a special episode, not necessarily dedicated to the Dallas Cowboys because OT is a Cowboys fan. So we're going to give him his proper due. So, of course, we definitely want to go ahead and make sure everybody's really, really locked in for what's about to happen right now because, when this Cowboys talk, it gets real heated. But let's roll into it, guys. I mean, season's about to get started. I mean, early, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this out the way. I didn't even talk to nobody about this yet. But this is an early rant about absolutely nothing that pertains to you guys at all.
Okay.
But let me take 1 to 2 minutes of y'all's time. I'm going to look dead in this camera right here and say the Cleveland Browns organization needs to be investigated. They need to be down hard investigated. They need to be set up with a FBI operation to go ahead and figure out what's going on in there. Because Deshaun Watson might got some tapes on Todd Monken or something. I don't know what it is. Because at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson, I have nothing against him as a person. Me personally, I don't because I feel like,
I do. I do, actually. A lot against him as a person.
Look, I have to separate myself from a lot of things. Like I don't even know what's going on over there. As a football fan and potential, whatever going forward, it's like this. Not moral character aside, we got a lot of things that's going on the field that don't make sense. This man has not been good in the last 3 years. And we're trying to force a square peg in a circle hole here. And he's sitting up here looking very bad. Now, the press conference was terrible simply because his attitude seems like he's ready to leave. He don't really want to be there. He really just dejected from the whole situation. I mean, being booed by the fan base that you was bought into. And the reason why I say bought into, because at the same time, he signed a contract that was probably, it reset the market to a crazy amount when he signed it. And nobody could understand why Deshaun Watson was getting this amount of money. But at the same time, then everything kind of, fell out of place. He got hurt a couple times. Then it's like, he couldn't get on the field. Then it's like, every now and again, it's a different thing that came up with him. So it's like he hasn't had enough time on the field to even work with any type of offense. Now, not saying Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to say Shedeur Sanders should be the starter, but I'm going to say Shedeur Sanders should be the starter. At the end of the day, that man is young. He, I would say, can figure out this offense a little bit more. He needs more time to develop in game time. I think Shedeur is a better game quarterback than a practice quarterback. I mean, you can throw to the same people all day and learn how to throw away from the same people all day. But at the end of the day, when you see Shedeur in the game, what he does lights up that entire team and not just, the sidelines of the fan bases. So I feel like it's a lot of things that he can do that really just gets people going. And I feel like when Myles Garrett was there, you can see it on his face how excited he was about just having Shedeur around in the locker room. So little things like that just make me say, about the NFL, because at the end of the day, like, moral character aside, Deshaun Watson is just not a better football player right now than Shedeur Sanders. And I don't think that's, I think that's unanimous amongst people. So, that's my little rant for the day. I'm not going to say too much more on it.
He had all those massages. As we said recently, the Kansas City Chiefs beat any sort of football that he had out of him. That game when he was up 28-0 and they lost it, he hasn't been good since. And the off the field stuff is what it is. But they're just trying to say, like, get every ounce of playing time out of that contract that they can. And it's funny because people always talk about, certain teams, they never produce and that sort of thing. But if you're any team in the NFL for the most part, unless you like the Arizona Cardinals or somebody, you can always look to Cleveland and say it could be a lot worse because you can't get much worse than this. It's a disaster. Like, if I don't understand why the disaster.
You
what do you think?
It definitely comes from up top. I definitely think it comes from up top, and that could be why the coach is also frustrated because his hands are tied behind his back. Now, I don't know much about him, but I do know with just NBA, NFL, all that stuff, a lot of those calls come from up top. No matter what we see or the coaches see, if the owner or somebody up top says, I want this person starting, they're going to start regardless. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And so it's unfortunate. You hear stories all the time with some of these former NFL athletes, who they are clearly better than people who made the roster or something, but sometimes it's business decisions. They may not like your personality or just whatever it is. So if you're not chosen and you just not chosen, you got to figure it out somewhere else. But I definitely agree. Deshaun should not be starting. I think it's time for him to hang it up. When he did play those few games last year, he looked terrible. So, yes. I mean, I don't know, man. It just might be time. I can't even say the Browns. It's the Browns. I think a good bit of it is him too.
I just don't think he's good anymore. You watch the passes he makes in practice. You watch some of the passes he makes in games. It's just I don't think he has it. It's a long way from Clemson.
I mean, if you're looking for that Clemson Deshaun Watson to walk through anybody's door, that man is gone. That man been gone.
And that's what they're hoping.
See, for me, it's like this. I kind of explained how football goes for a lot of talent levels. At the level that I play football, I can understand certain levels as far as when the game speeds up. I talked about it last week, how when the game slows down, when the game starts to speed up, that's when you got to start walking off. I'm not going to lie to you. When I started to notice that the offensive lineman that was next to me was running up on my heels, I started to realize, hey, big dog, it's not even about getting out the way no more. It's about getting off the field. Let them young bulls have it. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying that he's too old for the position because the position can be played at any point in time. But at the time that he's lost, he needs to find some time to get it back. And I think the one thing about the Cleveland franchise is that's a franchise so hungry for wins, and they see the talent that they've drafted. And it'll be disrespectful in every sense of the word to go ahead and push Deshaun Watson out there on that field week one, and then if they lose that game for whatever reason, or if they sit Deshaun Watson at halftime, or if they let this whole game go on and he plays it and it's a stink job. If it's that, then I know for a fact, then we're gonna see Shedeur Sanders sometime soon. But the thing is, the fan base is gonna get fed up with the organization trying to make these last minute decisions on how the season's gonna go, when they can have a shot from the start of the season and see how they can build from what they have, or they can sit up there and try to go ahead and rebuild Deshaun Watson from 2013. At the end of the day, I'm not seeing very much progress with that. But I do also feel like OT, you say it, it comes from up top. My up top thought about it is I paid this man $60 million. I got to see what I'm getting out of that 60.
I have to. I got
to see what I'm getting out of that 60.
Let me see 3 games, 4 games, and then you know what I mean? And if he stinks it, if he do, they might still, stay with him a few more games. But if he stinks it up, he getting pulled. And the fans want to see Shedeur anyways. So that's also going to be in the ownership ear is the fact that this is the man that's selling jerseys. So we need this man on the field.
If you think about it from a money perspective, we was a wrestling podcast first, so we know the money is right there with your stars. Shedeur Sanders can walk out on that field right now and not necessarily have the best season, but he can have a season that, can get the fans rally behind it. The last time y'all had a really good fan base behind a quarterback was Baker Mayfield. And I want y'all to understand something about Baker Mayfield. It wasn't a bad thing that y'all had Baker in there. Y'all had Baker, Kareem Hunt. Y'all had a nice little situation going there. Y'all just couldn't figure out how to get past, them boys in red. So at the end of the day, I think that, the last time the Browns were really, really good was around that time. And I think that they're hungry for that again because they tasted a little bit of success with a quarterback who could be lightning in a bottle. Shedeur is the same thing. Not saying that he's going to be the answer to all your problems, but I guarantee you he gives you a better shot in some of those games than what you see, Deshaun's probably about to give y'all. So that's my take on that.
Yeah.
But that's what
Definitely.
we had in this week. I mean, it's a lot of controversy around certain things. A lot of other things that's happening in this week. Boy, we got people dropping like flies at the end of the training camp. Boy,
A lot of injuries.
Crazy this year. I mean, the 49ers have their own list. They got their
Woo!
own
They got
list.
bigger problems than injuries. They got bigger problems than injuries. Speaking of Deshaun Watson and massages, I mean, is he hanging out? Is he hanging out with is Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, hanging out with Deshaun? Guys, worth $8.5 billion. He's getting trying to hook up with some prostitute in a trailer in Ohio. What the hell?
It was like $140. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. Like, boy. Like, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, some people just really don't get enough of themselves, man. Like, money is not a thing that a lot of people have, and it don't make no sense to have that much money and make that dumb of a decision. Like, I mean, I don't got that much money, so I don't know what you can buy.
I'm not trying to give him no bail at all, in no shape or form. But I feel like he was operating from a business decision. It was like, hey, this person is going to do exactly what I need them to do and leave me alone. I don't want to take you on no date. I don't want to send you no money for no extra stuff, no conversation. I want you to come in, do what you need to do, and I'm out. And I think that's the reason why he did that. Otherwise, it's like you got all this money, man. You can take any girl you want. But, he want a professional.
I mean, for $140,
Sounds
how professional was she? I mean, that's some truck stop booty if you talk about it. That's some lot lizard right there.
Lot lizard.
That's some lot lizard action. So we don't want that. We don't want that at all. But I'm just like this.
Sounds like he was recruiting a running back or something. Jesus.
Like, he was in somebody's house like, hey, I got 140 on me, baby.
Yeah.
A billionaire? Boy, get out of here. I'm about to extort you. But nah, it's just like this. He's in a position where he's not like that whole team, like it's its own thing. Like, I feel like the football season starts every year and the controversy about the NFL teams come out and everything kind of clears up right around the time of actually getting into the season. Week 1 always kind of just cleans a lot of things up. And then all of a sudden you kind of have like this whole transition of like, it's just football. It's just us worried about football. We're not worried about anything else. Like, that's kind of how I'm waiting on the season to start, because I feel like the controversies are going to be something to lead into the season. Like, we already had the Brandon Ayuk situation where he imagines that he's going to get signed by a team and he imagines that he can actually do this. And I just like, Eagles reign at the top. Okay, you know what? Hey,
we'll see.
Feel, man. The Eagles are the one thing about the Eagles, I feel like, hey. Next, anyway, so we can go ahead.
Ugly
And
Yeah.
9-8 for the Eagles.
Let's make him. Let's make that guy happy. Let's start talking about the Dallas Cowboys. You mentioned stars, and I can relate to the Cowboys because I say this all the time. I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, and you may not know a lot about hockey OT, but we are the biggest market in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bigger than Toronto, no bigger. Just like Dallas, the biggest franchise in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't won shit since '67 in a long time, and you guys haven't won anything in '93.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Cowboys documentary this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I picked the Cowboys to win the East. I picked the Cowboys. I like what they have. I like the receivers. I like what some of the things they did on defense. I think Caleb Downs is going to be a real impact player for them. But tell us, as a Cowboy fan, what can we expect from the Cowboys this year?
Record-wise,
that's what
I could see us. I could see us winning 13 games for sure. I could strongly see us winning 13 games. I think we got everything we need now. Honestly, the only question, and I was talking to my boy about this the other day, the only thing that we kind of question is probably the weakest link of the offense now is probably the O-line. Like our receivers are good. We got good running backs. Dak is gonna do his thing. Now we'll probably have like 6 receivers. We got some depth at receiver. You know what I'm saying? We got some hitters over there. Defensive wise, we with a lot of the new additions this offseason, I'm just super excited, man. I can't wait. The only question is probably the corners. You know what I mean? Like we got a couple like young corners and suspect. You know what I mean? So outside of that, though, the interior, what we really needed was stopping that run. I think that's going to be handled. I have no doubt at all, because that's been the thing that's really been beating us down. Like last 2 years, really, I was making jokes. I love my boys, but I was like, if you got a fantasy roster and they going against the Cowboys, I don't care who it is, start them. It could be the third receiver. Start them because they going off.
Hey, I've seen it all too many times. It could be anybody back there. It was a show. But the one thing about the Cowboys, I feel like, kind of like you say with the offensive line, taking a couple of hits these past few weeks. The big thing about the Cowboys, I don't want y'all to end up being a 7-on-7 team. Because at some point, y'all not going to be able to keep up with everybody. The one thing about that is not saying that y'all don't have the defense to do it, but y'all have a perfect run-stopping defense. And I think that's one of the things that I think about all the time is that y'all have a run-stopping defense that's really annoying right now. I think y'all added the perfect pieces to fill in the holes. And I feel like with the young corners that y'all do have, it's going to give them a lot of time to go ahead and catch up, play in space, learn how to go ahead and adjust to certain types of routes, give them a little bit of time here and there. Because playing corner, you need time. And that's the one thing that your defensive line can give y'all's corner. So I do respect that, y'all have made those moves. But the one thing, like you say, that offensive line, like Dak done been hurt once. And then, of course, every season he kind of gets dinged up every now and again. But the thing is, this last year, I think the offensive line that y'all put together towards the end of the year last year was nasty solid. I think they all gelled really, really well together. And I was like, okay.
And it's hard to win when you score 35, but the defense putting up 42.
42, exactly.
I mean 35 should win you the game. That should be
that.
No brainer.
Right.
We know that.
Always give you a little bit of something. Like that was always the thing for me. I felt like the one thing about the Cowboys is that, like, over the years, like you say, they shoot themselves in the foot. I feel like they got a little bit of at the beginning of the game, we know if we're going to win this game or not.
Yep.
And everybody kind of knows that in the first 5 minutes of a Cowboys game, how this game going to go.
No, for real.
Or you learn in the last 5 minutes of how the game going to go, because the Cowboys will do this thing where they're on this wild trajectory and they'll throw 38 points up before the half, and then they'll still lose by a touchdown some way, somehow. And, like, I just don't understand that. Like, it's weird math. It's like almost like y'all played so much in that first half that y'all tired and y'all came back out there and y'all realized that y'all have another half to play. And it's always weird like that. But I think when y'all start slow and then end late, the dramatics in the game are crazy. That's why you get your Thanksgivings, you get your, your Christmas, and you'll get those games from the Cowboys. So, yeah, y'all got some good stuff going on over there. I do appreciate that. I'm not going to be a hater.
One thing about the Cowboys is you mentioned Dak Prescott, but the guy I like is Joe Milton. Like, yes. I think you guys got something in Joe Milton. He can throw the shit out of the football. I think if Dak gets hurt, I'd love to see what he can do. Not that I'm hoping Dak gets hurt, but
I hope Dak stays healthy the whole season so we never see.
I hope he does too. Why?
You know why? Because if Joe Milton plays, the Cowboys will actually be fucking good.
Hold on now.
That's the problem.
He's not proven yet.
This is the thing. Hold on. That's the
same thing. That's the same thing when we had Romo. People were saying start Dak over Romo, and I said no. I was saying start Dak over Romo too, and you know why? Because when Romo got out there, he did exactly the reason. He gave you the exact reason why I told you I don't want him out there. Them collarbones was made out of paper mache and two salads. Like he snapped the ball one time and it went over his head and he fell, and I knew right then and there he wasn't getting up because he did just like this. I'm like, boy, nobody touch you.
You gone. You gone. Go ahead and get Dak back in the game. But this is the thing. You stop Dak momentum when y'all put Romo back out there. Romo was coming off an injury. And the thing about quarterbacks who coming off an injury, they so driven off of, I got to get back on the field. I got to make that money. I got to win. Bruh, this injury can take you out for the rest of your career. And that's exactly what it is for T. Romo.
Right. They know what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to y'all defense, have y'all not had a quarterback that when they were young and they had to come in and start and play good games, y'all's team is better than when y'all have these certain starting quarterbacks that y'all pay money to. Dak Prescott has been outplayed in certain seasons by Cooper Rush. Dak Prescott has been outplayed in some games. Hold on.
Because he's been hurt.
Wait. This is the reason. Hold on. This is the thing. Because Dak's been hurt, and these same games, would you say the same performance would have happened if Cooper Rush wasn't there? You cannot. You know why?
I don't know.
Cooper Rush was a game manager.
That's it, though. We don't need a game manager. We need somebody to take us over the top.
Exactly. But at the same time, somebody taking y'all over the top and throwing interceptions is not what y'all need either. Y'all don't need a person that's going to turn the ball over in big moments.
Do or die.
Game manager. Y'all need to win more games. If y'all win games, y'all get into the playoffs. It's hard to beat y'all because of the way y'all team is structured. But y'all self-destruct because of that mentality right there. And I knew it was going to come out. We got to throw the ball down the field. Yeah, y'all got two great-ass receivers. We ain't even talked about George Pickens and CD yet.
Good tight end, too. Jake Ferguson.
And y'all got Jake Ferguson as well. And I'm like this. Y'all, like I said, y'all don't want to turn into a 7-on-7 thing because at the end of the day, y'all going to have them two running routes for forever. So at the end of the day, y'all receivers are tired. They're going to come off the field. Y'all got receiver depth. So I do think that there's going to be some young receivers that we haven't heard of or heard of if you've been watching some of the preseason ball.
I think Flournoy going to be nice too.
Boy, Flournoy, he going to be – no, he's y'all's deep ball threat. That's not really a deep ball threat. That don't need to be a deep ball threat. That's just like he's a very anomaly.
You've been hearing about what's Camden Brown?
Camden,
like that?
Yes.
Boy.
6.
I
know
love
who 6 is.
I love it.
Look, you talking to somebody who watch ball. I watch everybody, and I don't be saying nothing about nobody because I'm like this. I wear red, and I look. Okay, I see what y'all doing.
He needs some snaps.
He does need a couple more snaps. I really do feel like if he ran with the ones a couple more times just to learn where his space is, because it's kind of like the NFL to the college to NFL is just like college basketball to NBA. You ain't gonna be exactly what you was in college. You have to find that role. Sometimes you're not the number one receiver on your team. Sometimes you got to fall back to the 3, work your way out the slot, and then come up to the depth chart and like that. But I think one thing about this is you got a lot of people on y'all's roster who not necessarily won't have to play certain games because certain games I already know y'all gonna blow the team out. That's gonna be the games where I want to see some of your young talent get some of those good games because it's always a thing. I think that's always a thing. They always have like these games where the Cowboys are just like up 30, like I say, and then they never get that young talent a little burn. But at the same time, I feel like this is y'all's year where y'all can, express that a little bit. Yeah. So hopefully,
I do think this is a make or break year for Dak, though. Like if he doesn't lead them to the playoffs and maybe even the second round or something like that, I think they may look somewhere else because, they've had him for years. I'm not saying he's not good. I hope he's successful because he seems like a decent person. So it just, we'll see. But I do like what they have. I do like their receivers. I do like what they have offensively, and I think they made enough changes defensively to do well, to challenge the Eagles. I know our man there, he's the Eagle fan. He said, I'm just trolling. I'm like, an Eagle fan trolling people? No, that never happened.
Never.
I've never known an Eagle fan to troll anybody.
That's my little brother.
Yeah,
also, I just want to say this. I just want to say this too.
I already know who that is.
So
I didn't know, sir.
Dallas Cowboy fans get this bad rep about just always believing in themselves and talking about we're going to the Super Bowl. Who don't think they're going to the Super Bowl every year? But I do want to say there's a few fans who get on my last nerve. Texans fans. The little brothers, I said it. For those who be watching, Texas fans, y'all, the little brothers, we are not worried about y'all. We never worried about y'all, but y'all stay in the Cowboys comments. Redskins fans, And the Eagles fans, oh my God, y'all get on my nerves so much. Giants fans be cool because they know they ain't been, but they've been winning, back then. But Giants fans don't be bad. But them, oh my, them three, they get on my nerves. Man, them three teams, it's just irk my nerves because it don't matter what you say, what you post, they're gonna be in the comments.
I mean, if you're talking about a division, I think everybody's division in football is like the trash talk division. I mean, the AFC North is pretty bad. I mean, we just had the Bird Cave on last week. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore, they real big on, their trash talk. But the NFC East, that's a different ball game. I feel like, that's another type of hate. Y'all hate each other different. It's funny to hate each other like y'all hate each other. I really do understand that.
See, I don't. I hate. I'm not I don't hate, but I don't like Bills fans, or I don't like Bengals fans, because they have this. Like I said to a friend of mine this weekend, I said Bills fans think they've won 4 championships, and they ain't won a goddamn thing. They ain't won nothing. You ain't won nothing. Like I've seen my team win 3 Super Bowls and play in 5. Like at least the Eagles have won. Like they could say they've won a couple championships. So I have no problem with that. But like Cincinnati, like come on, man. Like come on. You ain't won nothing. Ain't won a damn thing.
That they hate. Everybody got a team that they hate. I would think that, for me, I'm not a very big Raiders fan at all. I don't think the Raiders make it, the Eagles are just passionate, win, lose, or draw.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not even going to get
into
that.
Eagles fans will boo their mama.
Yes, they will.
They're dicks. They could be dicks. They could be dicks. I remember watching the Michael Irvin. I watched the thing, and he gets carted off, and and they boo him like he had a neck injury. I'm like, come on, booed Santa Claus. Like, they're a different breed. I have a couple of good friends of mine who are Eagles fans, great guys, but they are always confident in our thing. Well, we got Cowboy. This is our year. Yeah, that's fair. I being a Leaf fan, I said that. I've been saying that for years. It's always our year.
Now, OT, you do have a point. Everybody says it's their year. I mean, you got to start off. I mean, I feel like everybody up until a certain teams, you got to be realistic. That's going to say it's our year. The Seahawks last year, dang well they didn't say it's our year. They said, hey, we're going to go out here and play good football, and then we're going to see where it takes us. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's teams like that. Like, I think the Patriots are a team that people really think that it's always their year. What? Like, we gotta get X on the show one day because he actually doing his own thing, I guess. But of course, we always got these like little, like I say, teams we hate, and of course, like I say, I'm not a big Raiders fan. The Patriots are a team that feels like every year is their year. I feel like because they had Tom Brady for all those years, it's like a punch drunk feeling. It's almost
Buffalo is the every year is our year team. Mm-hmm. Buffalo's been the Super Bowl favorite the last however many years, and then they wanted when big time comes, Phil Rivers Jr. just fumbles the ball away, and they just can't get it done. I mean. But I have a question. I know you're annoyed by their fans, and that's fair. But the NFC least, who are you looking at? Like, obviously, the Eagles are going to be good because they're always good. I mean, you can say what you want, but they have Howie Roseman. They know how to put players together. My concern a little bit is their own line. A couple guys are getting older. Mekhi Lemon, we're interested to see how he does. Defensively, they're going to be good. But obviously, George, last week you talked about the Commanders and how you think the Commanders are going to be a sleeper team. OT, who are you worried about? Who are you worried about in the NFC East?
Nobody, to be honest with you. But man, I don't know because I think it's going to be real competitive. To be honest, I like the Giants. The Giants got a solid defense, and the offense, if Scatterboo can stay healthy, if Dart can do what he do, I love Malik Neighbors. Like Malik Neighbors and Scary Terry, those two are my favorite. Outside of us, those are two of my favorite receivers in that division. So if they can make some noise,
second best
GM
in the
like
game.
that would be
second best GM in the game.
Real interesting to see.
Yeah. He said best GM in the game. I say second best GM in the game. Ours has 3 rings. Sorry.
I can't help. Y'all put it together.
3 rings. Sorry.
Y'all put it
That's
together.
how you do it. You maintain
it's our year, bro. You know it's our year.
But Patty is just he's something different, bro. Like the throws he makes, like how he escapes the pocket, how he extend plays. I mean, some of that stuff, it just be like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, you've seen some wild stuff, but like he turns nothing into something like all the time. And when Tyreek Hill left, I was like, I didn't feel that he was going to suffer at all. Because to me, as far as like playing style wise, just the mentality, like he felt like, to me, honestly, comparable to Brady. Because Brady could have nobody at receiver besides one. Like he running up scores with Julian Edelman, and Gronk is not even playing, and he's still putting points up on the board. So I mean, he's special, man. He's special. But I think it's starting to dwindle down a little bit. They figuring Patty out now. I think y'all figuring out the schemes and things like that. So we'll see. But y'all have had a lot of injuries too. So
Who stopped you?
I will say that.
We got one on you too. We got one on you in the Super Bowl.
The thing is about who stopped this, y'all got y'all lick back. Y'all stopped history.
Yeah.
Y'all had to stop that for yourselves. No. Y'all was doing it for America. Because I put it to you like this. If Pat would have put another nail in that coffin, I guarantee you we would be the most unstoppable fan base ever. You would never hear the end of it. But the thing is, I feel like that reset us like we need to be reset. We got hit in the mouth, and we knew it at the same time that we needed to go ahead and retool. But when we got to the Super Bowl, it looked so bad to where we was like, all right, now we got to take some off.
That's great. That's great that they beat us, and I accept that. But like to say a guy who's led his team to, it was what 7 straight AFC championship games, 5 Super Bowls, won 3 rings, in a salary cap era. He's I get it. Everyone loves Howie Roseman because they don't want to give the Chiefs any credit. Never. But
no, they don't. I'm
sorry. Like he's my he's won 3 championships. You can't argue. Like I don't care that he lost 2. That's great. But he won 3 championships. So we'll see where it's going. But I don't need to talk about the Chiefs anymore. Because we'll talk about them a lot coming up.
Yeah.
But so OT, we always do a top 5. And so tonight, this is really going to make the Eagles fan, he's going to be really upset. However, we always do a top 5. And today's top 5 is going to be the top 5, our top 5 favorite all-time Dallas Cowboys. Top 5. They're like, so you'll start with 1, then George, then me, and then we'll go back to you, and then we'll figure out the 5th one. So who is your number 1? And it's not the best. It doesn't have to be the best. It's who's your all-time favorite Dallas Cowboy.
Number 21, prime time.
Oh my God.
Prime time. Coming up as a kid, seeing him, like the explosiveness on the punt returns, him playing defense, shutting down people, quarterbacks not wanting to throw his way, him being able to talk trash and then back it up. Like as a kid, it was like, yeah, like that's that dude right there. When we got him from San Fran, I was excited. I was a little kid and I knew it was time when he came our way. So Deion Sanders, by far, favorite, number 1.
That's who I would have picked.
Hey.
That's who I would have picked. Would have been the best shutdown corner in the history of the game. Like people talk about this guy, and there's nobody ever as good as Deion Sanders as a corner. He was so good because he was so fast and so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Brown was nasty. I love that. Now, Of course, John. Who would you like to go ahead and put in this list? I think the
See, if I can do it, we didn't specify, but my I don't know. I'm going to throw him out there. We'll see if he's allowed. But he's also from Port Arthur, Texas. Coach Jimmy Johnson.
Yes, sir.
I love Coach Jimmy Johnson.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
I believe that Jimmy Johnson never left, Dallas would have been the Patriots. If Jimmy Johnson would have left, because I think he had a hold on that team that nobody else could have had. He was like he and like Barry Switzer, and I think there's like 3 people maybe who won colleges, a championship college in the pros, and he had that team dialed in. And for me, it's Jimmy Johnson as my favorite Cowboy, because the whole "how about them Cowboys"? To me, he was the epitome of the Cowboys. You know, so
I can see that. I can totally see that. So hey, Jimmy Johnson was definitely one of those people who I feel like a lot of times they not necessarily look at the credit the right way. They look at it as, Emmitt Smith did this, the O-line did that, Michael Irvin this. But who was calling the show? You got to look at that. Who was calling the show? So, of course, I respect that.
There was the guy I watched the thing. There was the guy who had asthma, and he's like, I have asthma. And the guy had asthma, and Jimmy's like, asthma ass, get off the field.
Right. That's some good old school teachers right there, man.
And again, Port Arthur guy, right? Like, so.
Yes, that's how it was, man. Look, if you don't want to play ball, guess what? You don't want to be here. So at the end of the day, that's how it worked out. But my favorite Dallas Cowboy, which, funny enough, this is how life works. I always be in the situation where I'm always in a good situation. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking through the Galleria one day, oh my God. I'm walking through the Galleria in Dallas one day, right? And like I'm walking past this Gucci store, looking good, everything. I'm looking in the window because first of all, I'm not even about to act like I got enough money to go into Gucci. I just moved here. Mm-hmm. When you pay that rent and you get your apartment and they ain't got no furniture in there, but I'm in the Galleria though, so you don't know what I'm doing, but I'm out there. So we having a good little situation. We out there, I'm about to get some food or whatever. And then I see DeMarcus Ware walking out the Gucci store. He shakes my hand. First of all, if you know my lineage, I played ball for years. And the one thing about it is I always watched him and how he played his game. He was always just big, fast, and very strong with his hands, very quick with his feet. Like he could do anything. His hips were amazing for a guy who's his size. Pause. But at the end of the day, he was just really, really good off the edge. Like he's the only person I know who perfected how to make a lineman look stupid. Mm-hmm. Like when you hit a fake spin on somebody and have somebody just spin out, just doing a spin out, like your coach is so mad at you. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, when your coach come at you at the sideline, he gonna be like, I want to fire you today, but I got to make it through the rest of the season, because who is allowing DeMarcus Ware to make him look that stupid? Like if DeMarcus Ware never made the play, the camera was on you long enough for them to see you get turned around and put on skates on live TV. But DeMarcus Ware is my favorite Cowboy. Dude was just a monster, and he was such a nice guy. When he came out the store, he saw me making eye contact. He came up to me and dapped me up, and then he had to walk off real fast as he was DeMarcus Ware. And of course, like I say, in those moments, it was kind of weird. The wild thing about it was the day I saw him, 2 days later, he had got traded to the Broncos. So at the end of the day, like I was like, I'm not going to see him here.
It's your fault. It's probably your fault then, right?
It's my fault.
They saw him with you, and they're like, we got to get rid of this guy.
Hey, I'm not a bad influence. I just influence, happy feelings and happy smiles. You dig me? It's just, that's just how I operate. But DeMarcus Ware is definitely the one I gotta go ahead and lock down. So, OT, you got another pick in here for this top 5. So give me another one of them Cowboys you like.
Another Cowboy. The number what? Yes, sir. Michael Irvin.
Hey,
playmaker.
The playmaker.
It's literally one of the greatest, bro. He's
Yes,
one of the greatest.
Yes, sir. Another one that
Orlando
can
make a
talk
man
it and
schedule.
back it up. No, Orlando schedule can get out of
We
here.
had him too. We had him too. Believe yeah.
Sell him.
He ain't on this
Sell him.
list. He ain't nobody's favorite. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
He had
T.O.
Michael Irvin. Like, I mean, he was going to be on my list too. Like, he just had fucking balls. He would go get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was one of those receivers from the 90s and 2000s, where the 90s, like on there with Jerry Rice and Chris Carter and like Michael Irvin, those guys who were just, hey, when you watch that documentary about him, he's like, listen, like, I'm going to you. I'm going to, like, you're going to get this, but he was going to catch it. So, you know,
the one
absolutely.
thing about Michael Irvin that I really, really respect, and of course, no knock to the receivers that are playing today that catch all kinds of balls in all kinds of ways. Pause again.
All kinds of ways.
all kinds of ways is nuts. But Michael Irvin is the only receiver that you can really recall who played with no gloves. Catching the ball with straight hands is a very hard thing to do. And you catching the ball from anybody, you know. No, why is he doing this?
It's crazy how the Eagles fan knows all the Cowboy players. I'm just saying.
Hey, look, when you don't win for a long time, you know who you hate. That's all I'm gonna say. When you don't win for a long time, I know who I hate. I hate this guy, and I think yes, you know their name. That's how, look. Every villain has an origin story where he knows nothing but the person that he hates. Like the Joker don't know nothing but Batman, and you know all that. That's that Coke effect. Crazy. What are we doing here? Like I feel like that's a wild thing to say.
They did have the White House.
Michael Irvin.
So George, the number 5. I got an idea. I got to throw one out here, and I think you'll like it.
I got one too.
I got Larry Allen.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what I had.
Come on,
Larry Allen.
Come on now.
No debate. Larry was the everything that I wanted to be as an offensive lineman. If you can get downfield and knock out a cornerback, you won. Like, look, you done took out everything. If you can take out all 3 levels, and Larry could take out all 3 levels, the one thing you wanted to do was get away from Larry. If you saw Larry moving, that was like a sign, a telltale sign to either get out the way or be strong, really strong to stay in that spot because you was going nowhere. Like, Larry was a problem. Like, Larry was more valuable than some receivers and running backs. Like, Larry in today's league would probably make so much more money than he's ever made in life. He probably would reset the guard market every 2 to 3 years because he was just nasty. He had a mean streak in him when he needed to have a mean streak in him. Like, his 40 time was nuts for a guy his size. And then, of course, like I say, being as strong as he was, everybody knew how strong Larry Allen was. Like, getting grabbed by Larry Allen was probably like a death sentence. Like, the only person that I can say that I've watched more than Larry Allen with grip strength is Trent Williams, and it's not Larry Allen. So let that sink in. Larry was a dog.
He was just. I mean, you mentioned Reggie White. Yes, like maybe the second or third greatest defensive player in the history of the game. You know, oh my God, just mentioned Eagles. Listen, I'll tell him right now. My favorite Eagle of all time, Andy Reid. That's my favorite Eagle. That's the only.
One man's trash, another man's treasure.
It ain't that guy. It ain't LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn fumbled the ball with McCoy because when he got here, he was terrible. He was terrible.
He had a loaf of bread in his hand every time he carried the ball. Boy, I was so scared every time he carried the ball as any team he was on. When he was in Buffalo, he was just like, I don't know. Like, he has this thing where he just like to hold the ball crazy. And I was just like, yeah, I would never do that.
Darren Sproles over Shady McCoy. Hot take.
That's not a hot take. That's not a hot take. You got a much more versatile back that you could play. Not saying that, you know, Shady wasn't good to play other positions, but D. Sproles could play punt return, kick return, you know, slot wide receiver, You can have him at running back. You can do him at all things. Like, he was good. So, these pros might be a conversation. Like, I think people really don't know how good these pros actually was. Like, people be underestimating how good Sproles was.
He was a good player. Now, OT, we've talked about it. Like, Cowboys fans have gone through some struggle. You haven't won a championship since '96. You've had ups and downs, and Jerry Jones is still around. Like, what are your thoughts on like the Cowboys and their future, and just like the futility? Like, how is it being a Cowboys fan over the last 30 years?
It's rough. It's like it's one of those. It's one of those relationships like you have with that family member that gets on your nerves, but you love them, and you know that there's nothing you can do to get rid of them, but they just at the end of the day, like it's like that's your blood. That I can't. It's like I can't get rid of you, so I have to love you. When you make me mad, I don't want to be around you. Whenever you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're my best friend in the whole wide world. But honestly, I think with the Suns and everything, I think we'll still be in good hands. It seems like now they're starting to figure it out and putting people in the right positions. To be honest, I was not upset at the Michael Parsons trade. I do want to add that. I did question it because I wanted to see what came about, all that stuff. But getting Trent Williams and, having those extra picks, which led to one being able to get Caleb Downs, you know what I mean? I was like, let's see how this goes. Because I did know that being a pass rusher, Michael Parsons, cool. Awesome on the pass rush. But we need to stop this run. They going to run this ball 4 times in a row. And what are we going to do? So always, my thing, having Micah, and I'm cool with it. Like, you see how it turned out. We were able to free up cap space and get extra players and things like that. I've always been a believer in that. Even when Dak's ceiling was high as it was at one point, and when people were thinking about should he trade Dak, I'm like, I would be okay with it because we're gonna get so much back in value. You know what I mean? So
I honestly thought I should have traded him last year.
I'm not always in favor of trading the star, but at the same time, thinking about like the Herschel Walker trade, you get so much back in return that like it's worth it at the end of the day.
But it was getting the key there was getting not the picks, but the right players with the picks.
Correct.
And I think that's the key. I think they did well this year. I think Downs is really going to be a player. I really like. They talked about he was the most NFL ready guy. So I think they're going to be good. But we get the struggle because like I've been a Chiefs fan since 1993. So when Joe Montana went there, and from 93 to pretty much 2017, when it was the same thing. We had no hope. I think we had less hope because we didn't have any. And it's the same thing. But you do learn when your team sucks, not necessarily sucks, but just like disappoints you. You learn how to deal with disappointment. You learn loyalty. You learn like just how to gut it out every day. Because, like, like you've seen some losses. I mean, the whole Tony Romo,
the fumble snap.
Oh my
God. Really quick. You know what I do want to add to, which I wish I could have seen. Shout out to Puerto again. I wish I could have seen Jamal Charles and Patrick Mahomes. Oh my God.
I wish I could have seen Jamal Charles.
That would have been amazing to see.
Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted
I did. I absolutely wanted to see.
You don't want to hate me as a person. You really don't.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have hated you, believe me. I would have loved you.
Andy Reid's spring game with Jamal Charles and Patrick Mahomes and just think, because let's just say for the sake of argument, hypothetically, Jamal stays healthy and he's on his last few years when Andy gets there, because of course I would say, running back careers, 8 to 10 years is a is a push. And that's right around where Jamal was at that point. But I think, his ability would have been enough to kind of carry him to a couple games. So I'm not saying he would have been 1,000-yard rusher. I would give him, 900 good ones and, 400 passing receiving yards or something like that, 400, 500 receiving yards. On the low end, because, of course, like I say, when Andy came in, he was really running back by committee, and Jamal taking some of that, off his plate would have definitely kept him healthy throughout the season so he can make better pushes in the playoffs. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, he got to play with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce would have ran the league rabid. Like, it would have been so bad that y'all would have been like, no, they're cheating. Because Kareem Hunt would have been a rookie. And then at the same time, you had Jamal Charles. You had lightning and thunder. Like, if
we had Jamal Charles in 2018 when Kareem went out, we might have won. I mean, although you still had the same, like you were talking before, OT, about, they'll score 38 points and lose. That was the Chiefs in 2018. We couldn't stop anything on defense. We had a horrible defense. Our corners sucked. It wasn't very good. And so, but you had Jamal. If we had Jamal Charles, we might have won it. But that's always a dream. That's a dream of seeing him and Andy Reid's, like, with Patrick Mahomes, because he would have been.
And I'm just biased because just seeing this dude in person, it was like watching a god run the football. And I mean, in Port Arthur, they gave him the ball every play, and it was like, stop him. Bro, I mean, touching the ball 40 times a game is crazy. And he did get tired.
His years that we were playing, like, it was an amazing thing to kind of just see because, like, sideline or stands or wherever you was when Jamal was running that ball, it was crazy. It was like you see him hit a hole and the whole crowd just gets up and everybody like, there you go. Mm-hmm. Like, that was it. Like, it was every play. And the thing was, like, some of the plays, like, OT is not exaggerating. They would give him the ball 40 times. At least 10 times they had to call plays back off some random ass hole that they just made up. Like, it was just like watching a video game in person. It was just like, bro, this ain't even fun at a certain point. But it would be some games where we couldn't defend. Mm-hmm. And then we would have Jamal back out there just running the ball right up the field. I remember, I'll never forget this game. It was Aldine MacArthur. We was down like 30-something to like 6 at the half. And Jamal literally ran that game right back into existence. And I was just like, bro, like half the town went home. Mm-hmm. Like, Port Arthur ain't gonna lead no football game. Right. And that's how bad it was. Like, people was leaving. The only people who knew what the score really was the band. Yeah. That's how bad that game was at halftime. The only people who knew was the band. Because the next day, my partner was like, hey, we won. I was like, for real? Like, the game that I was at, but that's the thing. That was like, if you went home, you missed a treat. Because Jamal was unstoppable. It looked like they hit a switch and he was like, okay, you can play now. And like it's like he made a challenge for himself. It was that crazy of a game to watch. Yeah. And I'll never forget it because it was just like, the moment where you saw greatness happen. Like being in practice with Jamal Charles was like a different feeling. Like they had us do a drill where we would like hit the ground and get up and, had to pursuit drill him and at an angle. Bro, the angle was worthless. He was 30 yards downfield by the time I looked up. By the time I started running and I got 5 yards upfield, he was already across the street. So at the end of the day, like, I honestly enjoy watching good talent play. Like I watched it firsthand, so it's like always good to see. Like during those years, I went to college and I would see Vince Young play, and then of course, like I say, when he went to college, like he went to college my senior year, and he was up there in Texas, and he brought Lama Swede and Vince Young. They had came down and they was in Port Arthur in one of the summers, and they was throwing balls to receivers. It was just an experience. Like that whole style of lifestyle right then and there was just crazy.
Yeah,
we'll get you on, George. I got another question for you about playing football. George and I, OT. George and I always talk this all the time. Like I never played football. It's it's semi big here. We got some Canadian guys coming up, but it's like hockey here though is probably the same equivalent as football in Texas. Right, I would assume. Right. But like seeing you guys watching, football in Texas, are there any other guys that you saw, maybe not necessarily on your team, on another team that you said, that guy's got it. That guy's just going to be a star? Is there anybody?
The other 88
Oh yeah,
Ed from Dallas. I seen him come to Port Arthur and do some magical stuff.
Lufkin.
Lufkin
Yep. Yes, sir.
came down. That game was terrible. That game was terrible. Like, I tell this story, man. Like, it was just like watching somebody. He wasn't his full self yet. Like, I felt like
Dez caught it then, is what you're saying. He caught it then.
Dez was a Pokemon back then. He wasn't fully evolved.
Absolutely.
Yet. He wasn't fully evolved. He
Yeah.
was still growing. He was Charmeleon. He wasn't Charmander. He was Charmeleon back that time. He was growing. He was developing into what Dez Bryant is today. But he was a monster then, because I seen him go up and get a catch, and I was like, everybody in the stadium.
I already know what you're talking about.
That boy leaped up there.
When he reached over him.
Oh,
that.
I literally lost my shit. I was just like, we're not going to win. He can't. We're not going to win. He can do anything in the air, bro.
Ant told me all type of stories. He said, like, when they was warming up, he said, bro was out here one-handed just
doing just random shit. Like, I was just like, bro, this is not funny, bro. Put his ass back on a bus, bro. I don't care. Yeah. Like, in that game, Jamal was out. So they brought them down there because, to get Lufkin to Port Arthur was just like an act of God. And to get anybody down to Port Arthur is almost like a treat nowadays.
Right.
But back then, it was tough because we had like that Dallas Lincoln when they had Lincoln and TJ. So there's all kind of schools in Texas that didn't get to play, but people would love to have seen them play just based off of the talent in the cities themselves.
Right.
But like when Lufkin came down here, you can see there are certain players like you don't talk about the quarterback at all because we don't even know his name. We never knew who that was. He could throw it 40, 50 yards down the field. It really wouldn't matter because Dez made the catch that much better on the back end of it. Like, it was always crazy like that. Him, I seen
Trent. What didn't you say? Trent Williams came from there, didn't he?
He was we played them in a playoff game.
Where was Trent Williams at?
He was in Houston.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Do my research. Okay, Trent.
Yeah, he was in Houston at this time. But at the same time, like it was crazy. Like the teams that we end up playing in the playoffs is crazy. Like Houston Lamar had a couple big celebrities that they had play football there that went off to the NFL and became good players. And it was just like it's just always an experience. Like Texas football is a weird place to be. Because once you get in it, somebody in this room is a superstar.
Right.
You just don't know at what level.
Yeah.
And that was always the thing. Like there were so many people that came out of Port Arthur who just never really got that shine that they did. Like Jamal Charles ain't the only good talent that came out of Port Arthur, and everybody knows it. And that's the thing.
My boy, who I played with, Christian Michael.
Michael, yeah.
Now he didn't have a long NFL career, but he did his thing in high school and he did it in college at A&M. When I tell you, this is when I knew he was special. This boy, he was a freshman because I'm 2 years older than him. So he was a freshman. I'm going into my junior year. We had our summer workouts. We doing dips with the chain on the weighted dips. So we doing repping them out. Freshman. Now most of us, we probably had like a 25 on there, 35, something like that. Bro put like a 45 and a 25 and started just repping out. And I was like, nah, this dude different. And then we get out to scrimmage and stuff. Bro, we scrimmaging first play. Now he getting in. Now, mind you, this is freshman. So I think they went against, this was like third string or something like that. They went against third string. They call a play. He take it up the middle to the house. Coach is like, no, that's unacceptable. He's a freshman. You don't let no freshman run on you. The coach is pissed. Second string, get in there. They ran a similar play. Took it to the house. He pissed. He said, starters, get in there and make him feel it. Same thing. Took it to the crib. I'm like, oh no, this is
it's terrible. It's terrible. like it's just like one of those situations where like talent, like special when you see it, especially at that level. Like there's so many people who I've seen like just in random levels that play football, like it was just nuts.
So since this episode's now Port Arthur as fuck, I've got the Wikipedia page up, and a city of 56,000 people. Jonathan Babineau one,
yes, the Babineau
Jonathan Babineau two, yeah, Jordan and Jonathan Babineau, Aaron Brown, Raven Caldwell played for the Washington, Jamal Charles, of course,
Danny
Gore, yep, played for the Ravens,
played for the Ravens.
Obviously Jimmy Johnson we mentioned, Steven Jackson, the basketball player.
Yes, look, Jack was a Port Arthur legend. Still is to me. Like he had his own academy on the west side of Port Arthur, and a lot of people,
yep, Steven Jackson,
playing basketball. Basketball,
and you got, of course, can't forget most recent Landon. Can't forget about Landon.
Landon Roberts, yes, sir.
Yep.
He was like a 2-time champion with the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's like, and it just speaks to because like things like I'm such a huge sports fan, and the high school, like you love like Friday Night Lights, you love Varsity Blues, but the idea of high school football in Texas, it's just for me, it's so interesting because like I said, the only thing we have is hockey. Hockey here is like I live in a small town north of Toronto, and it's like we produce some NHL players, like we're like 20,000. My hometown, which is produced a guy named Jason Arnott, who actually played in Dallas and lives in Dallas. And he actually scored a Stanley Cup winning goal. But like, it's so like crazy competitive, and it's so like there's so much talent because everybody plays. I mean, I wasn't good at all, but I played with kids who were, and you could like, okay, it's the same thing. You pick it out. And it intrigues me like this one state, obviously because it's so big, like you have so many people, you're going to get a lot of people who know how to play football, especially when your religion is football.
Yep.
Like it just amazes me, like the players and that, some small city in Texas produces.
Mm-hmm.
That little corner, just that little golden triangle is just such an amazing place to be, especially when it's football related. Like you got Earl Thomas, you got a lot of people who went to West Orange.
You can't forget about because it's Orange and Beaumont. Yeah, that's all.
Ernie Ladd, the legendary professional wrestler and Kansas City Chief came from Orange, Texas.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot of talent.
Didn't Mark Henry come from there?
Mark Henry, Silsby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little talent out there. Like I'm telling you right now, like the weird thing about Texas is this is just the part of Texas that we know. Mm-hmm. You got a whole other side of Texas that people just kind of, and that's not even including where I live now in Dallas, because Dallas is a different scene. Like now that I'm up here, I see it for what it is. Like you got Dallas Carter, you got Lancaster, you got DeSoto, boy. Them boys down there be hitting. That's all they want to do is hit somebody. And I just feel like, bro, like if you just was into the high school football games and things like that, you ain't got to be a fan of the team. Just go. Now, of course, don't go on Rivals Night. I would never suggest you go on Rivals Night for anybody take. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when they say, oh, Duncanville playing DeSoto, I'd go to none of them schools, baby. Guess where I'm at? The house. Because I don't need to be out there finding out no past beefs with nobody that used to go to the school. But at the end of the day, I do love football enough to go out into these areas and just kind of see what type of talent is playing. Because the next time, like the NBA is littered with players that are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've learned that more. You got Tyrese Maxey, you got Keontae George, you got a couple other people who just kind of came out the area too. Cade Cunningham from Arlington. So it's just like Texas is one of them states where people be like, oh, the talent level is overflowing. It is. But the thing is, you got to get your spot, baby. And I'm going to tell you right now, you will know if you're good or not. But at the same time, you know how much work you got to do if you want to be better. I played to a level of semi-pro football. And at the end of the day, when I was done, I was done. My body was tired. I was done with it. And I said, I'm going to hang this shit the fuck up. Like, I put them pads down for the last time. I was like, I don't know if I want to sell them or throw them away. Because at the end of the day, it was just like, I'm done with this shit. Like, it's just, it does its own thing. But I think the one thing about playing football is that it creates a an environment. How I got to a podcast. One of my favorite things to do in life: sit down on them Sundays and talk to my grandpa after church, and then talk about them Cowboys games. And he would be either really happy or really depressed about what he had to tell me. But
right.
That's how you get here. So it was what
Absolutely.
It was.
And George, we mentioned we were talking about today. I'm a huge fan of documentaries. The Vince Young documentary is out on Netflix. It's really good. God, he was a fucking monster. Like, he was a monster. There's also, I've been bugging you to watch the Pony Excess documentary on SMU in the 80s when they were handing all the green.
Yes, sir. That's a good one.
It's a really good one. There's What Carter Lost on ESPN 30 for 30 about the Dallas Carter team from the mid 80s.
Oh my God. Is that the one when they lost the game at the end? Was that Dallas?
No. That was Friday Night Lights. That was Odessa Permian. They lost, but Dallas Carter was the team that beat them and won the state championship. But they had issues with someone's grades, so they almost got forfeited. And then 3 or 4 dudes robbed a bunch of Wendy's, and they did a bunch of robberies, and they took away their state championship.
It depended on what year this was. I probably would have robbed the Wendy's too. If it was yellow box Wendy's back in the day, you probably would have got me for a couple.
You know what's crazy? I heard some stories about y'all in Port Arthur before what y'all would do before games, but I'm not gonna.
Hey, whoa, hey.
I heard about a few stories, but hey,
I'm gonna tell you right now, what you talking about, I have no recollection of. I am 37 years old. I live in Dallas, Texas. I don't know what else to tell you, baby. Because
the statute's probably out, although it is Texas.
Might be over now.
Look, I put it to you like this: back in the day, we had a lot of fun playing football. OT, I don't exactly know what you're referring to, but we got hyped before the games.
Oh, absolutely.
We got real hype for the games. We ate cookies and things,
Absolutely.
But no, we definitely, there was definitely a lot of things going on in the locker rooms that I really do miss. That's one thing I do miss about football: the camaraderie and the brotherhood just amongst these guys. It's not a don't ask, don't tell situation, but it's more of a, this is our brotherhood, and we don't let anything outside of this brotherhood. I didn't grow up with brothers. You did. I feel like I don't have that luxury to have brothers all the time. So those guys I always clung to in the locker room. So that was always the feel.
Before we get out of here, one more thing we'll just ask around. OT, we'll start with you, George, and then me, and we'll wrap it up. Is your MVP pick for the NFL for this year? Did we lose OT?
No, I'm here. Oh, I'm first.
Oh, you were completely. Yeah, you were completely still. I
thought you said
still
George
as hell.
was first. I was waiting.
No, OT. I thought you went. I thought your internet stopped because you were so still.
No, I was just waiting. Okay. I think it might be Gibbs.
Jeez.
I think it might be Gibbs.
Gibbs.
If he has another season like last year, I could definitely see Gibbs winning the MVP. That boy he's amazing.
That's very interesting. That's crazy because Gibbs is a great pick, and I think the fact that Gibbs is definitely, a very exciting player to watch. I don't see that not happening. I don't want to piggyback off that, but that's a good ass pick. I'm not going to say Patrick Mahomes because I feel like that's a homer pick. I don't want to do that because, of course, of the obvious. But I will say if I had to pick somebody else, it's probably going to be Matthew Stafford again. I feel like Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua did some things that they can easily repeat. And Devontae Adams, if he can stay healthy, he can repeat some of those things too. He can be that red zone threat. That's crazy to have Devontae Adams as a red zone threat.
Right.
Like, that's just all you need is 20 yards from Devontae. Saquon is a good choice for MVP simply because I feel like he's the best person on it. The most valuable player is the title here, folks. So it's not like we're asking for this person to be the best person on the best team. The sorriest team can have the best person on it. If the Titans, Cam Ward is one of the best players in the NFL, he will win MVP because he's just that good. But in this case, I can see Saquon winning it because, of course, I feel like they're going to lean heavily on him this year, and I feel like this is going to be the first situation where Saquon has another giant situation in another color jersey. Not necessarily saying that his offensive line would be bad, but his offensive line is aging. I mean, some of your parts, are the oldest parts that start at that position, i.e. Lane Johnson. But I don't think Lane would be a problem. It's just that, because offensive linemen can age up pretty high and play well at a very high level. But it just kind of goes back to the old thing of Father Time is not, is undefeated. So that's the one thing about that. I feel like they got a lot of different spots at the offensive line that could be a little bit sketchy, but, we'll see how that works. But Saquon will definitely be leaned on heavily this year. Jalen Hurts won't win MVP because I don't think he throws over 3,000 yards consistently enough. So this is going to be another one of them years where I feel like it's looking like, oh man, Jalen Hurts needs to be traded. Watch, the talks will be
2,500.
Well, so my pick is a little bit off the wall, and that I think it's going to be Caleb Williams.
Okay.
I think he has a shot. And my buddy, I have a buddy who's a Bears fan, so I hate to say it, but he just had a new baby girl, so there's his gift. I think Caleb Williams might put up some numbers.
Caleb Williams is definitely one of those. I would say he's a dark horse because I feel like he's one of those people who I feel like he'll shoot himself in the foot every now and again. Every now and again, he'll throw a pick or he'll have a game where he's not, 100% just locked in. Like the games that he has, the best games that he has are his rivalry games where he plays these teams twice a year. Like them Packers and Chicago Bears games, they are great. Now, the one thing we need to address is how the Bears will not be in Chicago anymore. That is a real thing.
We're going to be in Indiana.
Indiana Bears. Like, they're changing the whole thing from top to bottom.
I forgot about that.
So you gotta lock in to kind of what the history is gonna sound like for the Chicago Bears now. Like the Mike Ditka thing, I don't know if that's gonna still be a thing. I know it's just the Bears, but it's just like, it's Chicago.
No, they said they're still gonna be the Chicago Bears no matter if they're in Illinois or Indiana. But it's a really weird scenario. But I mean, yeah, I don't think so. But they gotta that's a tough division because I think Green Bay's gonna put it together. I think they're finally gonna find it. I think they have the intangibles. I think they have a quarterback who, if he's healthy, is good. I've always liked their wide receivers. I like their coach. I think LaFleur is a good coach, and I think their defense is gonna be better, especially if Parsons gets back and he's healthy. They're tough. I think Detroit's gonna be. We'll see. If their coach can stop being a moron, then they might win because he's their biggest we're gonna go on fourth down again. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? And Minnesota, I mean, maybe they got a step ladder for Kyler Murray. So we'll see if we can how that goes. But
man, look, you want to talk?
I think all those teams could be tough.
You want to talk about a quarterback out of Texas?
That's a legend.
Kyler Murray, I feel like in this situation, he's going to be 10 times better than he was in Arizona simply because he's playing with much better talent at this particular time. Now, not saying them years with D-Hop weren't great because, of course, like I say, it's still D-Hop. He still had great years chunking the ball to him, but that was his only receiver. With this team, I feel like Kyler Murray could be a little bit more of a dark horse as far as the MVP run because Jordan Addison is there. They still got T.J. Hawkinson. They still Justin Jefferson is a no-brainer. And I think they kind of have a little bit of a depth chart when it comes down to receiver as well sometimes. But, of course, I feel like they won't have to do that. Now, they do have a question mark at the running back position. I think they're going with Jordan Mason this year. But Jordan Mason did prove that in the starting role, he can definitely be a bruiser. So it's just like, that's not a bad look if you're looking at them being a nice downhill running team, having and Jordan Mason is a much bigger back, so he would be perfect for Kyler Murray and pass blocking situations. So this might be a little bit of somebody to watch as far as them being able to kind of make some noise.
They
feel like their play
they
action
could be a
game,
sleeper team.
They could have some crazy play action game, but
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is, as far as the MVP, I feel like he has the most talent. And I think that's going to be the thing that actually puts him over the hump. He's going to have the most players to actually make him look the best. Mm-hmm. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden is actually really, really good out there. For some reason, I feel like I didn't think that was going to work. I'm not going to say I was hating on it. I just didn't think that was going to be a big thing for them. And, boy, they found a way to make Luther Burden work crazy. So
I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about Luther Burden.
Yeah, now Luther Burden going to be somebody to watch. If you playing fantasy football this year, go ahead and pick up Big Luther.
Okay.
And not the little one.
Not the little one.
Yeah, me.
So, anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much. I mean, what a show. Great show. Talked a lot of Dallas, a lot of Port Arthur.
Always.
It's like a Texas history lesson.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, Texas history is a real class. So there's at least 90 days worth of Texas shit you can talk about.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'll tell you this: when I am planning a trip to Texas, and it's for a couple of reasons. And one is the food. So I'm excited to find out about the history of Texas food because George tells me all the time, I want to try chicken fried steak. I want to try some Mexican food. You know, you give barbecue, of course. George has this. We went to Kansas City, and Kansas City has great barbecue. Best I've ever had. I haven't been to Texas, so I can't really. But the best I've ever.
I was gonna say, hold on. No,
don't say that. Don't say that.
I went to Kansas City
myself,
I had Gates barbecue,
the driest.
Now when I went. It was nice when I went. I don't know which location.
It's okay. Hold on. That's the thing. If I got to go to a certain location for you to be on your
That's
game,
my favorite spot.
But see, this my thing. When I went out there, let me tell you how I knew it was gonna be good. I walk in, and the lady from behind the counter was cussing somebody out.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. There's one lady who works at the bar in the location right down from the hotel we stayed. And I loved her. She loved me. She found out I was Canadian. She was like, "You're Canadian?" Mm-hmm. Oh my. But yeah, that's my favorite spot. I bring home the barbecue sauce. It's great. George doesn't like it because they don't pile it that high. But my point is, I'm like Switzerland when it comes to food. I'm all in for all of it.
Okay.
Give me whatever you got. But I'm excited.
What did you order when you was there?
I had ribs.
Yeah.
I had ribs.
See, okay. Hold on. They do have good ribs.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that they do have good ribs.
Mm-hmm.
For the type of rib that you're getting, it's a nice St. Louis style rib,
mm-hmm.
sauce very well.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you that. I'm a barbecue connoisseur.
Okay.
I had the brisket.
So I didn't get the brisket. It was dry. Okay.
Boy.
Now,
what's brand new Timberlands?
What's that spot to say? So I heard Terry Black's in Dallas is fire barbecue.
Nah, you got to come up to Big Hutchins, baby.
Oh, I already had Hutchins. Boy, I love some Hutchins barbecue.
Hutchins, baby.
I love Hutchins barbecue.
Big Hutchins will get you right every time.
Me and my wife.
At least 150.
I was just about to say, me and my wife, $150. Just me and her.
At least 150.
That's it.
Just at least, boy. Big Hutchins will get you right every time. Give me 2 of them Texas Twinkies, couple slices of that brisket. Let me get some of that sausage nigga over there too. Let me get all 3 sauces. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple scoops of that banana pudding because I'm feeling it, boy. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah.
Big Hutchins get you right.
You can't lose with Hutchins for sure.
Yeah, we also shout out to Jack Stack. Jack Stack was
okay.
Jack Stack's fire.
City again.
We had to have a nap after Jack Stack. That was the end of it. We were like, "This is
go to Jack Stack and get the beans, bro."
Jack Stacks. Okay.
Go to Jack Stack and get the beans. I promise you, they put all their leftover meats from the day before in the beans.
Trey, write that down. Jack Stacks, because Trey out there like Plano. He's somewhere out there. He up Allen. He like in Allen, Plano area.
Oh, I gotta hit him then. We gotta link
Oh,
up.
Jack Stack's in the Jack Stack in Kansas City. It's unbelievable. But I'm looking forward to visiting Texas and trying all that food.
Oh yeah, you're gonna gain about 10 pounds.
At least
that's all right.
Like in 3-4 days,
one sitting.
So much weight. Like it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, again, thank you very much. This was a great show, great time. And George, next week we got Taylor on from the Electric Edge podcast.
Absolutely.
Talking the LA Chargers.
Oh yeah. It's our
enemy territory.
Our favorite rival, boy. She gonna be in here talking Chargers. We're gonna be in here talking Chiefs. There's a lot of things going on in the AFC West, so I'm ready to see what she got to say about it. But of course, that's next week's news.
And then a week later, we have Kylie Winfrey, who was she used to be on the Kingdom Cast podcast. Huge Chiefs fan, really knows ball. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. But OT, thanks for joining us. It was great, and everyone have a good night.
Y'all be safe. Peace.